Today's guest conversation is with the head baseball coach at Brookhaven College in Dallas, Texas, Mr. Shaquille Thomas. Here's episode 93 of the Baseball Forward podcast. Coach Thomas, great to see your smiling face today, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me up today. It's a
Heck
really good day to be on, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it is. You know what? It's a great day in Dallas. And I should say this. I know technically Brookhaven is in Farmers Branch, friendly Farmers Branch, but Dallas, everybody knows Dallas, the community college system down there. Man, I'm excited to chat with you because I kind of mentioned this to you when we spoke earlier this week, or geez, I don't even remember how everything runs together. But man, I have heard so many good things about Brookhaven in the last few years. And it's really cool to hear the positive feedback from players that they like playing for you, that you coach them hard, that you're fair with them. So, and I always feel like with baseball guys, we all have egos, and none of us are ever articulate how we feel about each other. So I'm telling you, man, well done, my friend. I just hear fantastic things about you, Shaq.
Absolutely. I definitely appreciate it and appreciate everyone that speaks highly of me. So
yeah,
definitely
man.
Enjoy that side.
Good deal. Good deal. Okay, so let's get into it. Episode 93 of the Baseball Forward podcast today. Coach Thomas. You know what? I want to start with this. Your name is a very famous name. And I mean, I kind of wish my name was Shaq. Were you named after Shaquille O'Neal? What's the story behind that?
So, yes, I've asked this question myself coming up. And so the funny thing about it is Shaquille O'Neal was actually at LSU when I was born.
Really?
And yeah, so I'm named after a college player. Of course, many people probably knew that he was going to go and get drafted, go to the NBA, be a Hall of Famer and all this other stuff. But my dad's middle name is Neal. And so once they named me Shaquille, they were like, let's just go O'Neal. And next thing you know, here we are, O'Neal Thomas. And, to this day, still everyone's like, really?
Yeah,
Shaquille O'Neal?
That is awesome.
Right. And even when I go to, say, restaurants or, a lot of people will botch the name. And just recently, probably 2 days ago, I went to Chick-fil-A and he said, Shaquille. I was like, hold on, you're one of the only people that get it right.
I'm like, what? That's like an easy name. Like, it's one of the most famous names. I mean, maybe for our generation, because dude, I remember this. Hey, I remember in '92 when he was with the Magic, and he had that logo of just like smashing the boards.
Yes.
And I want to say I had like the Reebok pumps that he used to have. Didn't he have pumps at some point?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, man. So anyway, that's cool. I like that. I can't say that I was named after anything special. So if my parents ever listen to this, why don't you tell me? I think my name was supposed to be Tiffany if I was a girl. So I don't know about that. Okay, so let's get into this, man. It's the middle of December right now. I'm curious what you guys have going on from a baseball program perspective. I mean, you guys are going to be firing it up here. I'm assuming you'll start the season late January-ish,
yes.
First games. So what do you have going on this time of year at Brookhaven?
So right now, it's just trying to square away. I'll start on the baseball side, trying to square away what we're going to look like going into the spring, who's going to be our personnel, and rounding that out with guys that may be transferring in or guys on the academic side. Once we post the grades and stuff like that, who's going to be able to make it, guys that'll be ineligible as well. So trying to get that kind of stuff squared away. And then some paperwork going early into the spring that we'll need to have on file and stuff like that to get ready for the spring, because it'll be a quick turnaround. I mean, we'll start back up practicing January 12th. Our first game that we'll have, real game, is going to be January 30th, that weekend. We'll host SAU Tech. Yep. But right before that, we'll have an exhibition game, because from the fall, we saved some of our dates to where we're able to play like an exhibition game in the spring right before we start. So we'll go down to ETBU and play them on the 27th, which is a Tuesday right before our weekend, until we get into the real stuff. So,
yeah, love that.
And then outside of that, just a bunch of field work. I'll say we got some projects that we've had going on. Reconstructed both bullpens, getting
Love it.
those squared away. Our game mound and home plate area, getting those, um, I guess, reconstructed as well. Just getting a little facelift and things like that. And then myself edging the field. So my assistant actually went off to line it yesterday, and so today I'm going to be out there edging the field after we get off of a call.
Dude, I'm driving down to Dallas and I'm going to help you with it. Hey, you know what? That sounds like seriously, that sounds like fun to me. I miss that. I used to coach at Parrish right there by Brookhaven.
Oh yeah, right there.
Man, back in the day, like 2010 and through like 2014. But I was down there all the time, and one of my responsibilities was always to do field work, man. And I would just go out and get on that 3-wheeler and enjoy the time. Do you is this time of year stressful for you? Because you're set, like that kind of blows my mind. Your first practice is the 12th, and then you play on the 30th.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a lot of time. I'm like,
no.
Does it stress you out as a coach knowing, hey, my guys are going home for holiday break and I don't know what they're doing?
Absolutely. I think this is one of the most stressful times for college coaches. Like you say, you just don't know what the guys are going to do. And especially for us, I thought we put in a lot of work throughout this fall, got a lot of things accomplished. Seeing guys succeed in ways and growing in ways that, we didn't see in their freshman years and stuff like that. And they took a big jump. So, you as a coach, you kind of want to keep that rolling and keep it going. And then now we don't have eyes on them. So we send them home with things, that we want to see them continuously work on, and hopefully they do it. You just never know how it goes. So it definitely is stressful. And then also, like I mentioned, with the grades and things like that, you always hope, the guys that have been your guys previously, you hope those guys have been doing with their part and being the best ability is availability. So being available for the spring.
That is well said. And I think that's missed on a lot of guys. Because man, if you're not able to get into the lineup, whether you're academically ineligible or even injured, man, it's just you just can't do a whole lot for the team. So will you guys, when the guys get back on campus, because I remember my days with 20 years ago, will you have like condition tests and all that stuff for them just to kind of see what everybody was doing, or how do you manage that?
Yes, so we'll have some light condition stuff the first week, but then we're going to get right into it, introducing some of the small stuff, playing real baseball, small ball game, the bunts, the hit and runs, all the different things that we want to do and implement throughout our season, and how we think we should be as a roster and a personnel. And then right after that, we're going to kind of get into playing and see which guys are ready to go, and what our lineup is kind of going to look like early spring, because, everybody knows, you probably look different from early spring until the end of spring. It's never the exact same, right? You always have injuries. You have guys that, are not producing and things like that, or ways that, we saw beforehand, or guys that, you had on the bench slated at first, and then all of a sudden they get hot and they just take off. So, we've kind of seen a lot of different things like that.
I'm curious, you said you had some guys kind of make jumps from freshman to sophomore year. So like, that's exciting, I would imagine. And I'm curious, like what kind of jumps do you see? And like, is that typical in your experiences of seeing is that like a pretty standard, hey, from freshman to sophomore year, that's when they take their biggest leaps? Like what are your thoughts on that?
So, yeah, I mean, so I would say yes. Especially for the guys that have gotten some play time, gotten the experience. I think experience is one of the things that's undefeated. When you talk about development, yes, getting bigger, faster, stronger is great. And that's definitely part of development. It's, one of the biggest parts of development, but also getting on the field and being able to play. I don't think you can substitute for that side. And so I'll say this for one of our freshmen that we had. This guy started off last spring really, really well. Like, he's a really good athlete. He's a physical kid and plays fast. And he saw some success playing another junior college, D1 junior college. He came off the bench, went 2 for 2 with 2 home runs. First one was dead center. The next one was right center.
Let's go.
And from that point on, we saw a change in him trying to be someone that he wasn't at that moment, and he wanted to be a home run hitter. And he started chasing pitches that I'm like, you can't do anything with those pitches, like in no world right now. Like, that's not your game. And early spring this past year, I think the first 17, 18 games or something like that, he was, I think, leading junior college D3 level in stolen bases, or maybe all junior college. He had 23 or 26.
Oh my gosh.
Like the first 17, 18 games, something like that.
Dang.
And he finished the season with only 3 more stolen bases from that standpoint, because like I said, he got himself in a rut. He would take his ABs to the field, and he was charging, ground balls and stuff when he should be more comfortable, more relaxed. And he just let the game speed up on him a lot. And this year I saw a completely 180 change of that. He's letting the game come to him a lot more. I saw him hit foul ball home runs to the pull side, and then fighting off. And next thing you know, he hits a triple to the right field side, right center side. And that's something that I did not see him do last year, this past spring. And I think it was totally just getting into that mindset of understanding who he is and what he can do. Because, I mean, if he gets on first base, he's definitely going to be in scoring position within the next couple of pitches. So
love that.
Understanding who he is, I think that helped him out a lot.
As a coach, talking with Coach Shaq Thomas of Brookhaven today on the Baseball Forward podcast, as a coach, how hard is it to like make an 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old guy, that the guys that you typically deal with, how hard is it to make them understand their identity as a baseball player? And how crucial is that to their development?
Ooh, that's a great question. I would say, with there being so much information out there, a lot of kids want to, have aspirations of going to the highest level, playing pro ball and different things like that. And there's a lot of information to be able to do that. But the biggest thing is understanding who you are and what your capabilities are. Of course, once you, like I said, play this game and you've played it now at a high level, and now you can start doing different things a little bit differently. And so many kids on the competition side, they want to go out and kind of prove, hey, coach, I should probably be the guy. And then they go out and overdo things sometimes. And that's where we're trying to stay out. Just stick true to yourself and stay consistent, because once you stay consistent, then the possibilities get endless, because the more times you square the ball up, hit the ball hard, you're going to get on base a lot more. You're going to be in scoring position a lot more. You're going to be able to drive in runs. And then ultimately, when you talk about winning, you're going to help us win if those things stay true.
Yes. If I asked Coach Shaq Thomas of Brookhaven College, Coach Thomas, what's the identity of your baseball team? Like, you have a stamp on the game. Yeah. We all know you have your flavor to the game of, and what would you say the identity of your teams are, kind of the general themes?
Yeah. So athletic. We're going to be a team that's athletic. We're going to be able to steal a bit. This past season, we ended the season with 198 stolen bases.
Dang.
So yeah, we're definitely going to be aggressive on the base path. But we also like our guys to swing the bat. Traditionally, when I first got here to Brookhaven, the former head coach who brought me in, Brandon Raines, who's now at Amarillo College, at that time, he was like, hey, this is how we're going to recruit. We're going to go find the biggest and best bats, because in the conference, there's, schools will probably have 1, 2, good starters and maybe one good relief guy out of the pen. He's like, after that, it's a race to 15, basically.
Wow.
And he's like, if we can get bats, we're gonna get into the bullpens. We're gonna win a lot of games. I'm like, okay. So from that point on, I kept that same kind of motto. But as I think college baseball got a little bit better, throughout all levels, the home runs and all that kind of stuff, living and dying by, wasn't as successful as we had been in the past. And I'm like, man, we're hitting a lot of home runs, but we're not scoring as many runs as we should, just because we're leaving so many guys on base in crucial moments and stuff like that. So, but right now, like I said, we've adapted a lot. We got guys that are a lot more athletic, that can do a lot of more things with the bunt, the hit and run, slashes. And what's funny about that is, we didn't really work on slashing a lot throughout this past fall, but we have a kid in particular on our team who is really good at it. He did it again this fall, and he just does it on his own. We had to let him have full kind of control of what he sees right then in the game, and he pulls through in clutch moments all the time with different things that he's able to do with the bat. So I think our 1 through 9 they'll be able to bunt. We'll be able to handle the bat a little bit as well with guys that have some experience, and then being able to drive in some runs as well. We have a lot of guys in our lineup that we've returned that were kind of pretty big RBI guys for us as well. So I'm excited about the dynamic of our entire lineup that we have now. So even our smaller guys, there's some guys with some bat speed and they have some sneaky pop, as people like to say.
Yeah, man, that's fun. Like, I'm excited. I'm going to come out and watch you guys in the spring for sure. And it's just so much fun. Like this time of the year, I just think I try to remember like so vividly the excitement. I get goosebumps thinking about like what that feels like going out and playing for the first time in the spring. There's nothing like springtime to me. Is it the same for you? Like every year is the excitement, the build? Is it kind of like routine at this point? Does it ever get old for you kind of going into, this time of the year, knowing you're a month away?
It never gets old. I think it keeps it so fresh too when you get a new group of guys kind of almost every year. And for us this year, it's mostly the pitching side. But we have a lot of new faces, a lot of freshmen that, had shown really well throughout the fall that I continue to get excited for those guys and just the possibilities of what we could be coming off the fall that we had.
Man, and you guys talk about the spring. Last spring, you guys were 34 and 26-ish. Like Correct. That's a lot of wins. Like, I'm like, that's a lot of winning games. Mm-hmm. Do you I know this is going to sound crazy because mm-hmm. you're at a junior college and I understand the point of baseball is to win, but right. Like, are you conscious of that as a coach? Like at your level, are you like, we got to win at all costs? Or is it like, what is your focus as a coach, knowing that you got to get guys to the 4-year level, but also I'm assuming you want to have an impact on Brookhaven in the legacy and the history that you're creating now?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's funny because I even tell a lot of recruits this that we bring in as well. Like, yes, I love to win. And I think, that's why us as coaches, a big part of it is, we want to win and we want to compete at the highest level. But also, just looking at our schedule, how we do it over the past few years since I've been at the head now, is we're always going to play the toughest competition that we can. And yes. I think, when sending guys to higher levels and things like that, you have to expose those guys to what's to come. And yes, I would love to win those games. I think how we recruit, I think, we're not going to feel inferior to anybody. We're going to go out there. We're going to compete. Some of those games we're going to win. Some of those games we're going to lose. But ultimately, I want you to be better and more of a well-rounded player and athlete overall, and prepare you for that next level. Because if you're not getting prepared here, then at the end of the day, you're kind of defeating the purpose of that student athlete as well. Man, and so I kind of want to blend and mix the both.
What's the best compliment that you can think of like if a guy comes through Brookhaven and he's there for 2 years and he goes on and he has a successful 4-year, what's the best compliment you can hear about one of your former players?
Oh my God. So it's been a few, and I tell people this as well, is that my enjoyment from coaching college baseball thus far is when those players and those families, I still hear from the parents. Shoot, some of the parents more so than the players all the time. Yeah. And they reach back out. They're like, Coach, I want to come to some of your games. So like when we go down to Houston, we already got it planned out. Some of our former parents, they'll be at the game and stuff like that.
Amazing.
We go down to play Alvin and a weekend series. So it's just different things like that. The compliments that, we get as far as, Coach, we've had so much great experience and you've taught our our son so much, within the short amount of time that you've had with them, and they thank you for that and being able to get them on to the next level, whatever that looks like for those prospective individuals.
Man, that is amazing to hear, because I think in the game, we try, when you give young players advice, you try to tell them to focus on like relationships and people and the humans involved in the process. And I think that's a case in point of, are the guys that come through the system coming back and showing gratitude and staying in touch. There's no better. I mean, that's beautiful that these people still want to be in touch with you. Do you feel when they go on? I've always wondered this about junior college, is like, when they go on, do you feel, are you still coaching them? Do they still call? Do they still ask for advice? Is it like an ongoing coaching scenario?
Oh my God, all the time.
That's awesome.
It never fails. And even when they have some of their breaks and downtime and stuff like that, some of those guys still come back to the campus and want to hit, ask different questions and things like that. So that is definitely a beauty of it as well. I know one of my former players in particular, named Brett Wagner, who was All-American for us as well, played well from here. He ended up going to ETBU, some things, not ETBU, UTRGV. Okay. And some things happened there, got hurt. I think he broke his finger or hand or something like that as well. Got hit in the nose, and then wasn't going to have opportunity at UTRGV. And then he ends up transferring to ETBU out of there. And I think he was newcomer of the year. He was, again, an all-region or all-American, all-conference player for them as well. Well, there was times where, he'd go through slumps, and, the thing about him was he was trying to make things happen too often instead of allowing it to happen. But, I have simple conversations with him, and then he'll be right back on a narrow path. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just a little conversation and helping the guys understand, to just take a step back and slow it down a little bit, and you're going to be fine, because you've put in so much work up to this point. Just allow your natural athleticism take over, and the work that you've put in take over as well.
You talking with Coach Shaq Thomas of Brookhaven College on episode 93 of the Baseball Forward podcast. Man, you seem really like a player's coach. In my interactions with you, what I've heard, calm, optimistic. Like, I would say there's light coming out of you. Where does that come from? Who raised you, man? Like, I want to know more about why you're the way you are.
Man, coming from a small town, country town in Louisiana, the athletics, it first kind of started for me through my cousin. He introduced me to playing all different sports and things like that. And, as I continue to stay with him and learn and play and do all these drills and different things to help myself become a better athlete, the love continued to grow. And then being in a small community, like I said, I graduated with 32 people in my high school, Class B high school in Louisiana. But at that time, we were known for baseball, which from Stanley High School. A lot of things have changed since then. It's not as big as baseball as it was back then. Little League was super huge back then as well.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, his dad, and our high school coach, who is now the principal back at our high school, they used to run the Little League programs. And so everybody I played baseball with coming through high school, I played with in Little League as well. So it started at a young age. We're having fun. We're going and playing in some bigger type of tournaments in Shreveport and things like that. And playing against tougher competition that people said, we wasn't going to be able to compete, or we wasn't going to be able to beat them. And that's what we were doing. And our coaches were tough on us from, that side at young ages. So, and that's how it had been growing up. And my high school coach, again, exposing me to a lot of different things, a lot of different people, and a lot of different opportunities. And he's someone I continue to talk to this day. He's like a mentor. He's like a father.
What's his name?
He's always been there. His name is Brian Anderson.
Anyway, Brian Anderson.
Yes, sir. So he's done a really good job, and I see myself in him from the things that he's done as well. So that's been super exciting.
Man, that's really cool. And just to think about the impact that you're having on young lives right now, to think about the impact that he had on your life and all the other lives, man. And baseball is such a beautiful game. And shout out to all the coaches and mentors out there doing it the right way. I'm curious where you stand with baseball. And like, man, I know everybody, it feels like it's a constant trying to get to the next level type scenario, especially for coaches. Do you have goals and aspirations? Like what like for baseball? Like what do you want to accomplish with the game?
For me, I think everyone has the kind of goals and aspirations and things like that. But for me, as long as I continue to impact lives, I think that's the biggest one for me.
Yes, sir.
Of course, being able to win a national championship on what level, I don't know, but any level, national championship for me is huge. That's ultimately what I want to do. And if bigger opportunities and things and stuff like that comes, it'll be something that'll be looked at. It's not something that I'm, actively hunting and searching, because I do love and enjoy being at Brookhaven and having the student athletes that we have currently. Those young men, like I said, putting in the work, having not as much as bigger programs and things like that, it says a lot about those student athletes for guys that just want to come in, want to compete, and want to play, and play hard at the end of the day. I love that side of it. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about the importance of like mental training and like the importance of, as these guys go through and they're growing in their careers, is the mental training or preparation, whatever you want to call it, is that something you guys are aware of, that you talk about, that you put an emphasis on at your level?
Absolutely. We do it every day, every day throughout our practice settings and game settings and stuff like that.
Wow.
It's funny that that you talk about that as well. Right before we finished our fall, my assistant, Jake Lindmeyer, who
Love
is
him.
Catching with Cheese, does Catching with Cheese. He talks about a lot of different things as well with our guys. He's like, man, guys, we're hard on you at times, and because the mental side is more so what some of you guys struggle with than anything. It's not the athletic side. It's not, the tool side. You guys all have that, or you wouldn't even be here. And we've seen you do a lot of different things before. He's like, if you can take us saying this or doing this, and you guys are still going out there playing and competing, like, you're going to be prepared for pretty much anybody else or any time else. And like I tell our guys as well, man, even if you're going through the worst, that's just going to be baseball. That's going to be life. Our biggest thing is we have to continue to kind of press forward and let our things fall back on our training and things that we have done, take over at those points. So that's the biggest things for us on the mental side. And then in different situations as well, I would say, because the game of baseball is going to bring so many situations that you're going to have to be prepared for. So mentally, we want to make sure that we're prepared in those situations that arise as well.
Golly, man, it is such, and you get to that you get to your level. It is such a mental game, and I think Coach Jake Lindmeyer nailed it by everybody's there for a reason physically. Duh. We're all the best of your high school, and you all come together, and there's got to be the separator. And to me, I'm like, man, the guys that are mentally sound, and I'm glad that we're in a place kind of with baseball in general where it's not as faux pas as it used to be. Like when I was growing up, it was like, oh, don't talk about your feelings or anything like that. But I think the mental side of this is huge. Talking with Coach Shaq Thomas on Baseball Forward, episode 93. Baseball Forward, our company, the motto is elevating the next generation. And our goal is to just my partners, Coach Schwanke and Coach Gary Ward. Man, these guys are amazing men. And it blows my mind how they want to just give back to the game, because the game has been so good to them. So when I say elevating the next generation, specific to like the players, up and coming players, just in the game of baseball, do you have any like advice for young guys out there coming up in the game? Do you have general advice that you like to give guys, things that you like to make them think about?
Absolutely. I will say this: if you're looking to kind of get on the coaching side of baseball and things like that, figure out the people who has impacted your life the most in that realm, in the baseball side, or even just life side. Because throughout the game and throughout life, you're going to need those people to kind of reach back to when things are not going as well as you think they should be on your journey and your path. And so those people kind of give you a more grounded feel, a grounded effect, and be able to help you push through and press through all the times that'll come as well. And anytime that you can have anybody that you can pick their brain on as far as this game goes, that I think is key. That is huge. Someone that's always willing to share knowledge and help you get through it as well.
What about young coaches? Like, because there's a lot of I know this college coaches are the source, and there's so many guys that are coaching this game that use you guys for inspiration and motivation and learning, really. So for the young coaches what if they're even just coaching little league and everything, like what advice do you have for coaches as they coach the young players?
Understand that it's all about growth. It's all about development. Make sure that they're having fun while they're doing, this game. Yeah. Because it's going to come a time where it gets harder. But if you early on, kind of kill their morale early, then that kid may never come back from that. But if you help them out mentally early on, there's no the sky's kind of the limit to where that kid could, take his athletic ability and things like that.
Excellent point. And it's man, I had when I first started coaching, I was coaching 13-year-olds. Okay. And I was 20, I'm 45 now. I think I was 26, 27. And I just moved from LA to Texas to just get into coaching and do like lessons and all that stuff. And boy, I had a learning curve, and I had a dad tell me after a World Series, because I let another dad influence how I wrote the lineup, right? And that's a whole nother story. But I had a dad tell me one time, he said, at the end of the World Series, he said, "You ruined baseball for my son." And he was in 7th grade. And I remember I went home and I was crushed. And I think I say that because the game was so beautiful to me. And I think in retrospect, the kid and I ended up great. And we had a good relationship through high school. But hearing that was really sobering and humbling to me, because I'm like, did I make it about the right things? Was I making it? And I think there was some truth in what he said. But your point of saying make them enjoy it, that is the deal. Because I remember I vowed to myself when I got home, or when I went to the next season, I said, I will never, no, there's never going to be another kid that says I hate baseball because of Ross. And man, that impacted me. Do you have any regrets, or do you have any hard lessons that idiots like us in the audience can learn from, so we don't repeat the mistakes maybe you made?
Ooh, I don't think I have any.
Just Mr. Perfect. No,
nothing like that. I don't think I have any that I just kind of regret. Yeah, I don't have any that I regret.
Do you ever look at other coaches and do you compare yourself, like you know what I'm saying? Like, do you compare yourself with that style, with his style? Yeah, he's kind of a jerk. Do you know who you want to be as a coach, like every day?
I wouldn't say I know who I want to be every day, because I think it changes from day to day and situation to situation.
Interesting.
I will say that some of the best times that I've also had and enjoyed coaching as well coming up is with one of my coaches buddies, Anthony Macon. He's
Oh
the
yeah.
pitching guy at not Prairie View. He's the pitching guy at Texas Southern University now, who was formerly the pitching coach at Prairie View. He and I coached together at Texas College, a small
In
NAI in
Wiley?
Texas, no, in Tyler, Texas.
Tyler, that's right. That's
Yep.
right. Yep.
So we yeah, and I mean, man, we had some winning teams there. We kind of changed the program around from the previous couple years. It had not been good, and we were definitely respectable and played some really good baseball while, like we talked about, impacting a lot of families' lives. And I think from that point on, building a program is not only you and the other coaches and the players, but it's the whole families as well. Like, I think the only way you're gonna have a really good program is you got to have really good families also. And
Great.
so that was the type of environment that we had, and we had a lot of fun doing it.
I've got two more questions for you here, Coach Shaq Thomas of Brookhaven College. I want to let's because I would be missing an opportunity. Recruiting, like, hey, if anybody listens to this, like in the day and age that we're in, you always hear college baseball is getting older, D1 kickbacks, blah 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 blah. So for the guys that are interested in Brookhaven, how do they go about connecting with your staff? How do they go about being evaluated? Like, what does the recruiting process look like for you guys?
Yeah, for us, I mean, if you're interested, it's a simple reach out to us, whether that be social media on Twitter, Instagram, or even our emails. Of course, there's a lot going on, and I think that's with every coach in America. Yep. Getting a lot of emails, a lot of traction, and things like that. And sometimes we don't get to it right away, but eventually we're definitely going to see it, especially for those guys that kind of make it stand out in the subject line, putting, what your different attributes may be. Let's say if you're a 90-mile-per-hour arm, putting that in the subject line. If you're a 6'4" runner, putting that in the subject line. So something that kind of stands out, to kind of pops and get our attention a little bit more. And we're like, okay, we're interested from this point, and things like that. So just making sure that those things stand out. And, we've brought in tons of guys throughout the fall. And as we continue to go, we'll be bringing in guys throughout the spring as well. So it's all about reaching out and getting the conversation started and seeing if, we can get you up on a visit, kind of see you in person and things like that.
It blows my mind sometimes how unapproachable people make you guys seem. And I'm like the parents, what do we do? Talk to them? Because I'm like, you coach because you want to help kids, right?
Absolutely.
So there you go, parents that are out there listening. The guy wants to help, and even if it's not, you're not going to play for Brookhaven. My guess is if they ask you for feedback, you're probably going to give them objective feedback. Is that fair to say?
That is definitely fair to say. And there's been so many kids as well, like that. Even if they don't play here, we end up trying to help them find a place that we think they could play, or people that are have needs as well. So even with transfers, I mean, we've had transfers come, and we're like, man, it may not happen here. And, here's looking, or they need this position, different things like that, we ultimately try to help kids out and figuring out a home, because I think there is a home for everyone. It's just about being able to find that fit.
Whew, that's gold, my friend. That's gold. And I hope everybody hears that. All right. Last question I have for you. You seem like a young man. Yeah. What was your walkout music?
Oh man, that's a great question. So I actually had a snippet of one song.
Let's go.
I can't remember it, but at the beginning of the snippet, it had like a bat hitting a baseball, a wooden bat hitting a baseball sound, and then it said "play ball." And then it cut into something else. I can't remember what it was at the time, but I had kind of mixed mine to make it my own kind of unique thing.
What? Okay, so what would it be today?
Oh,
like if because I want to know, like, I want to know, I want to know that question, but I also want to know, like, what are we listening to at Brookhaven when we're taking BP? What kind of music's being played on the speakers?
To be honest, we play a lot of everything. So Jake, my former assistant, he plays a lot of different things that's 90s. He'll go back to a lot of like the Nelly or that kind of, I guess, house type of music as well. Sure. We go from country. We do a lot of different things. We have about 6 Latin guys on our team, so we'll play those different things. So it's kind of what the guys want to kind of hear in those moments, because that's ultimately what we try to do. And same thing in the weight room is we try to create an environment that's conducive for development and just having fun at the end of the day. And whatever those guys choose in that moment, that's what we're going to listen to kind of for the day and things like that. So,
man, you know what? Like, music is such a fun part of baseball. And to me, I used to play shortstop and I pitched, but when I was taking ground balls and there was music on, like, I feel like that's where I learned like my rhythm and my smooth and my round edges. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, would I have been like that if I wasn't listening to Mambo number 5? Do you give me a couple of artists that you personally listen to? I'm curious.
Oh man. So for me, it would be 50 Cent. I listen to a lot of him. Snoop Dogg.
Let's go.
I like John Mayer. I'll tell you, I like John Mayer a lot.
Wow. Do you listen to him with the Dead?
Yes, I do.
Wow. I didn't have that on my bingo card. I'm a huge Dead fan.
And I would say those 3 are mostly what I would listen to.
Okay. Yeah. Man, Coach Shaq Thomas of Brookhaven, I want you to tell the audience where they can find you if they need to find you. I know you're on Twitter, but give us a send out, and then I'll take us out.
Yeah, Shaquille Thomas here, the head coach at Brookhaven. Yeah, you can find me on X now is what they call it, at Coach Shaq T. You can also send me via email at shaquillethomas@dallascollege.edu. And yeah, feel free to reach out anytime if you want any information or need any feedback or anything like that. I definitely be willing to give you all those as well.
Love it. Use the man for his word, guys. Coach Shaq Thomas, Brookhaven College, episode 93 of the Baseball Forward podcast. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you all.